Yeah.
Want to jump into the Q&A?
Yes.
Well, nothing else we could do, so let's do it. Alex 13, do doubts sometimes arise, and if so, how does she deal with them?
They definitely arise every single year. And I think the worst time of year for me is before the season really starts, like January, February, March. It is just really hard, and I always have doubts. And after I compete, I always tell myself, like, you should never doubt yourself ever again. You're so good, and, you know, your best will always be enough. Like, I know that, and I've proven myself that, but yeah, it's just really hard not to.
What is it about that time of year?
Well, that's the
time off.
Yes, that's the time of year that it's like, okay, we haven't competed since whatever, like the games or Rogue or whatever I do in the off season, and then holidays, you kind of take a little bit of time off. Things aren't as serious, and then you jump into the Open, and it's like, shoot, there's a leaderboard, you're comparing, you're not where you want to. I'm usually not where I want to be by then. Usually you're still in kind of like a weird headspace, not ready to like go super hard yet. And I just struggle a lot. And it's not until we have like a good training block and around usually quarterfinals now, where things I start to get momentum, things kind of click. I've proven to myself that I'm still fit, and then the confidence comes back. But there seems to be a trend, and I think that there will always be doubts. Like, even after quarterfinals, I like went into semifinals in first place, and I'm still doubting myself. Like, I don't think you ever are good enough. And I don't know, because I've never like won the games, but I think even if I did win the games, I think I would still have doubts the next year that maybe I'm not good enough. But I think that's what like keeps you pushing, because you're always thinking like someone is capable of beating me. So
is that exhausting?
Yeah, it is exhausting. I'm like, come on, just be confident, but it's not always that easy.
All right. Carla Hernandez Cruz says, was the field equally distributed compared with West Coast, for example?
No.
Gosh, that was a sentence right there.
No, it was not equal. We have like the hardest region, I think, or at least the most stacked. We have, I don't know how many games athletes, but top 10 are all like incredible athletes. And then there's people who didn't qualify who are also incredible athletes. Like, we have so many.
Can I say what you told me that one week?
No. I mean, the West, like, okay. I bet you girls from like, how many did they take? 11? I bet you 12 to like, and I don't actually know this, but I'm guessing those girls who didn't qualify would have qualified in the West. So that sucks. You could also make the argument, you should be good enough to qualify anywhere. But that's not reality for everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be cool to have like a West and an East semifinal, but it's all of North America qualifies, and then you just like cut them in half kind of thing. And then like you either travel to the West or the East, and then it's equal.
From Big Hits on Health, what was her mindset going into semifinals? So where was your headspace at? What were you thinking?
Like a month out, I was feeling really, really good. Fitness was in a good place. Mentally, I was in a good place. And then a week out from semifinals, I actually tweaked my back.
Doing what?
Oh, I was squatting. I was practicing event 2. That is like one of those situations where you're like, okay, I can either let this like completely derail me and upset me and make me freak out, or I can sit back and be like, maybe my body is forcing me to rest, and maybe like, let's make this a good thing. And I actually think like it was good, because I was going to practice 3 more of the workouts in full. And sometimes when you do the workouts in practice and you go to a competition, it doesn't feel the same, or you're not able to, like hold the same paces or whatever it is. It can actually like negatively affect you. And I don't know. I think my body kind of prevented me from even having that option.
Yeah.
And so I went out there and I just trusted that I was ready, and I knew that I was capable, and I knew that I could do what I had to do. I knew that my prep wasn't exactly like I would have planned, but it was what I needed, actually. So it was a tough week because I was definitely feeling anxious about not, doing the whole snatch workout in full, or not doing the whole rowing workout again. Like, I was just overthinking it.
Yeah. You said it was a week, right?
Yeah, it was a week.
And so how did the back feel those 7 days?
It just felt like it wasn't a bad tweak at all, but it just didn't feel normal. And I'm so in tune with my body that literally anything that's not normal, I will notice. I did everything that I could. Like, I stayed moving, I stayed lifting to an extent, but it wasn't what I normally would have done. It was more just like, okay, I trust that on game day, like, I'm going to be healthy, because that's
and
the hard.
Was it feeling good come game day?
Yeah, I mean, like, I felt good. I felt good going into it, but in the warm-up area before the clean and jerks and before event 2, the front squats, I felt my back a little tight, and I didn't say anything to Adam because I was like worried that if I were to say something, it would just become more real and that I would think about it more.
I love that you think that, because you're probably dead on with that.
Yeah, and
you put it out there, now it's...
Yeah, and so I didn't say anything until after the workout, and I was like freaking out because I was like, I don't even know how I did that. Like, my back was tight before. I was actually really, really nervous. This is what I said to Adam after. And I don't know, like, I trusted that God would, like, pull me through, and he did. Like, I didn't feel my back at all the entire time I was out on the floor. The lead up, that wasn't perfect. And then in the warm up area, and this always happens when you're warming up, like, things just don't feel great. And that happens here, that happens at the games, that happens at semifinals, and then you get out there and it feels completely different. So you can't ever predict how it's going to be until you're out there. And then you go out there and adrenaline and everything that comes with it, like, just carries you, and it feels magical.
Well, actually, our next question is going to be warm-ups, but real quick, was there anything else on that last question, mindset? So you said you had your tweak, so that was there, but did you have expectations or anything else?
No, something I said to myself the whole lead up and during the competition was, my best is enough. And I knew if I went out there and did what I knew I could do, I would qualify. And I didn't really care. I mean, you care, but you don't care. Like, I was going there to qualify. I knew that I could, and that's all that I was focused on, is like doing my best and qualifying. And I actually think not worrying about the placement and not thinking about everyone else is why I took second. Like, I'm focused on me and what I can control, and everyone else, they can focus on whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. But at the end of the day, like, that doesn't affect me because I have no control over that. So taking second was amazing, but it wasn't actually the goal. It was the outcome of, like, the mindset that I went into it with.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Evie Hollis says, how do you approach warm-ups in competition? Adam
writes a whole warm-up for me, and basically we'll start in the hotel room and do all my, like, prehab, warm-up, rolling out, PT exercises, and then we'll drive over to the venue, and he's kind of got, like, basically like a minute-by-minute schedule of what I need to do. And
you like that?
Yeah, I like that. I don't want to think about it. I just want to be told what to do. I don't want to be in charge of anything. I just want to focus on my job, and he does a really good job with that. He just honestly, like, leads me through, and I just follow him through this warm-up up until the corral, and we just have a routine. We do that for every single event.
What's the rest of the athletes like back there? Do you feel like they're all doing something similar where their coach has them walking through, or is it everyone's kind of different?
Everyone's a little bit different, but yeah, I think everyone's kind of with their coach. I think some people like to be a little bit more independent on their own and do what they want to do. I think Travis is a little bit more like that, but everyone's got, like, a different style. Like, certain athletes like to warm up more than others. You see some people doing the same thing for every workout at the beginning. But for me, just being told what to do helps kind of just like ease my mind.
Cool. And this next one bleeds into that, maybe. Roll Bobo 77 says, do you do any visualization? You say it. I can't say that word.
Visualization.
Yeah. All right, we got through it on the workout.
That's Rolbo. Did you meet him, Rollin?
No.
Oh.
Did I?
He's from Michigan.
Okay. Shout out Rolbo.
Yeah. Rollin, he's the best. Yes, I do visualize. I visualize before every event. I started doing this in gymnastics. Like, my coaches would make us visualize our routines. And I think for me, it helps kind of ease the nerves because in my head, I've already done the workout. I already know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm visualizing everything, like when I'm getting chalk, when I'm going to belt up, how I'm going to get into the rower, how I'm getting out. I visualize everything so that way when I get out there, there's no question about like what I'm going to do. I already know.
And for the person who's hearing you say that and they're like, man, I really like Lex and she does this, I should do that. When you first started doing it, did it feel dumb? Because I can't imagine doing that. But if it works, I want to do it. So help me get through buying into this concept.
I don't know if it ever felt dumb because it was something that like I was kind of forced to do in gymnastics. Like there was no option.
No dinner tonight.
No, they were like so strict. Like there was a part in practice where like you would stand there and like you would be visualizing before you got on the beam or whatever it was. And so it was just like what I would do. And in CrossFit, no one really told me to do it. It just kind of like makes me feel at peace in a way. And so
do you do it before training too? Or is it just competition?
Not training always. Like sometimes I'll kind of like take a deep breath and visualize myself like hitting my lift perfectly, that kind of thing. I think it kind of is like going back to saying something out loud. It makes it like it can make it real. And when you have those thoughts, like your thoughts, I think become your actions at times. And like if they're really good, yeah, that's great. But if they're negative, you're already doubting yourself before you've even done it. Mm-hmm. So visualizing something perfectly, you're going out there and you're already expecting to be perfect or you're expecting to make that lift. There's no question about it. Like if you were to go pick up a barbell and before you start, you're having all these doubts and you don't think that you can actually make it, you're probably not going to make it. And it's the same thing with visualizing. You've already done it. You have this confidence in yourself that you can do it already.
All right, next question. This one was actually, I just merged it because a lot of people asked similar things. It was, what event were you most proud of and what was the most challenging?
There's a lot, but I think I'm most proud of the legless one actually, because in the past, my legless rope climbs have been a weakness and I actually hated them before. In the past few years, I've built up a lot of confidence with them and just being able to attack that workout like a workout and not like a legless work. Yes. Yeah. It was so cool. And every climb, I had no doubt in my mind that I could make it up. There was no negative thoughts. There was no second guessing. Like I was jogging to the rope. I was trusting my body. And I don't know if I've ever actually in live competition felt that confident in a legless rope climb workout. So that was a huge win. And
what did you place on that workout?
I don't know. Definitely top 10. Yeah.
But that's cool that it wasn't even like a big win for you and like
no, it wasn't.
Most proud.
Yeah. I think the hardest workout was event 1. Like that one was physically, mentally, everything. It was just such a hard workout.
We talked about that one.
Yeah. So
Connor Wonders. Shout out Connor. I know that guy. Cool dude. What's it like chasing Tia?
I mean, she's just a normal human, guys. And I think chasing her is great. I think she pushes everyone, but it's just like chasing anyone else. It's just that. Like, I think she does a really good job at executing, and clearly she's so fit. So when you're chasing her and you're next to her, like it does push you because she's always going to go really hard. So like I think about the handstand walk workout, I was right next to her and that was really cool to row and just be kind of like next to her alongside this race with her, because it's like, all right, she's human. We're doing the same thing. It's just kind of like racing anyone that's really good. It's inspiring and makes you go harder than you would.
Next question. Bridget Gibbs CF. How did you know to keep pursuing CrossFit years ago?
How did I know?
Did you ever have a moment where you were like, I'm not, there was a fork in the road. I'm either going to do CrossFit or I'm going to do something else?
No. I just told myself I'm going to do this. Like, I wanted to do it so bad. And like, we've talked about the West Coast thing. That was when I like quit, kind of. Like, I told Adam I'm done with CrossFit.
That was 4 years ago?
Yeah. And that could have been a time where I pivoted and did something different. But the thought of that also sucked. And I would rather keep trying and at least try to do this than walk away and think like, what if, and do something that I'm not in love with or that I'm not passionate about. I don't want to do that. And life is way too short to, I don't know, have a 9-to-5 job that I hate.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make.
So right now you're like one of the best in the sport. Let's say you were, now anyone who gets to semifinals in the games are obviously good, but let's say you were like a bubble level semis. Are you still pushing? Or is there something to be said, like, do you know in yourself that you have what it takes and that's what motivates you? Or would you be motivated no matter what? Do you see what I'm asking?
Yes. I knew that I had what it took, and that's why I kept going. If I didn't, that's not fun for me, and I probably would have stopped. Yeah. But that's just me. Like, I don't know. I've just always I've always wanted to be the best in whatever I'm doing. And if I wasn't able to make this a career, like, yes, I would still be doing CrossFit, but I wouldn't be doing it like I'm doing it right now. Mm-hmm. It's way too hard and it takes up a lot of time and there's a lot of sacrifice. And for me, it's all worth it because I'm able to make a living off of it. Like, I mean, that's like the coolest thing ever, but that's like just a small, tiny percentage of people. And I think I'd probably balance my life out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any part of you that kind of ever thinks about that alternate universe, Lex?
I think about that, not now, because this life is my dream and it's way too good. Like, I want to do this as long as I can, but I think about being like a mom one day and I will not be in the gym for 6 hours at that point. There's so much more, and I think I have a lot more to offer than just this. And I think life will be so great in a completely different way then that I think I'll look back and be like, those were like incredible days and I made like those amazing memories, but I don't think I'll be stuck in it. Like, I think I'll struggle with the transition, but I think life will just be so great in a different way that I'll be completely fine with it.
Cool. What programming helped you best prepare for semis, and did you like knowing the workouts? This is from Leah Garnes.
Adam Rogers programming, I guess training think tank.
Was there anything specific about the programming that, like, when you look back on what y'all were doing heading into it, pre-knowing the workouts, where you're like, wow, we really got that right, or anything like that? Or you were just overall prepared? I
just felt prepared because he kind of gave me progressions for the workouts. We never really did them all out. And
This is after you knew him?
This is after we knew them, yeah. I think Adam did a really good job about not, like, hammering me into the ground with each of them and, like, overdoing it. Yes, we were doing the same movements every week, and it got boring. But I think we did a good job about communicating what I want to touch more on, what I feel like I need to improve on. Like, one thing that I felt like I needed to get better at was going from handstand walk into rowing. So it's not like I had to do like the whole entire workout every single week. It was, okay, let's do some more intervals and like emphasis on that part of the workout. So I think we did a good job about that. I honestly wouldn't have changed much. Like, I think our prep was great. I don't really have any regrets. I don't think I would have done any of the workouts in full, honestly. Like,
do you like knowing the workouts ahead of time?
No, I actually don't like knowing them. I would prefer to go into it not with 3 weeks of doing them or a month of doing
So
them.
when would be the ideal release of the workouts? At the competition or a week before, 2 days?
It's hard because everyone competes at different weekends.
Yeah.
So if we could all compete on the same weekend, I think it would be really cool to get them the day before and then just do them and let's see who is the fittest. I think if I could choose, I would prefer to go first or second. I think second would be cool because then you can watch people go, learn some stuff, and, you know, touch a few of the workouts in a way and then do it. Third week, we had known the workouts for like a month. We had been doing them for 3 weeks. And by the time we did them, I was just so ready to never do them again. So. All
right. Well, let's go to the next one. This is from Claire Carnsner. What did she learn after the weekend was over?
At that top, I would say the top, I don't know. We had so many good girls, but top 7 or 6 or whatever it was. I feel like at that point, everyone's so fit, but it comes down to those little execution things. So I think I learned okay, fitness, I'm always going to try and get fitter. I'm always going to try and grow my mental strength. I want to improve on all these things. But I think I learned that the execution part of competition is almost just as important. And I don't know exactly how to, I think it's just competing more and getting more experience that you can get better at that. But I guess I learned that stuff is what separates you from being first to fifth or whatever it is. It's not always who's the fittest because yeah, it just comes down to these tiny little decisions that you make in the moment. I need to get better at that. I was definitely a little sloppy with things. And I need to stop getting in my head that I'm only a top 5 kind of, or a, top 11 in a running workout. Okay, no, that's a horrible way to think about it. I'm actually a good runner. Don't think that that 11th place is where you are at running. It's okay, no, you need to get better at executing in those moments and taking the risk when you don't want to, or taking that risk if you think you might fail, but you're not going to know unless you try kind of thing. So it's just a good reminder that that consistent execution is what takes you to the podium, I think. And yeah, I think I'm capable. I just have to stay focused and not be sloppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your comp day banger from Wilson Packy?
Oh,
music.
Bass Jam.
Bass Jam.
I think I've showed you that song before.
Who's that by?
Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
I've used their songs a lot the past few months. Yeah, I don't know. That song will make me run through a wall. So good.
Can I recommend one?
Yeah.
Space Jam.
No.
All right, next question. Which abilities would you take from your competitors? Strength, endurance, gymnastics, etc. And that's from KJ Davies, 1995.
Yeah, I would take some endurance.
From who? No, we need names and the thing you're taking.
I would take running from Haley and Tia. They're so good at running. It is just crazy. Because I think that they're so enduring that it also transfers to the other machines too. And I know Haley I think she did cross country or something. So she'll always be amazing at running. She's just so good at it. I think being really strong is cool, but I actually think it's better in our sport to be very enduring.
So that's all you're taking?
Yeah.
All right. I got a final question for you.
Yeah.
How's the sandbags?
They're good.
They're good.
I'll be ready.
You'll be ready. You promise?
Yeah.
They won't come up this year, but you'll be ready.
I know.
All right. Well,
all right.
Thanks for doing this.
Yep.
Leave any comments below, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.